men don't talk because talking about it is seen to be a sign of weakness. Yeah. It's one of the major causes of suicide. We should not be ashamed. Yeah, when you're down. Yeah, as we say, I'm among some of my friends. I'd rather listen to you weep and cry about your problems for an hour than to listen to your eulogy for 10 minutes.
Welcome to Dad's Day, the African Fatherhood podcast, where we celebrate and support modern-day African fathers through heartfelt and insightful conversations. We explore essential topics for today's dads, from parenting and family dynamics to personal growth and mental health, offering unique perspectives on the joys and challenges of fatherhood. Together, let's redefine fatherhood one story at a time. Welcome, and thank you for making time to join us.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today.
Obviously, I know who you are. I feel like this is such a boys to men moment. Because before we used to run around in the neighborhood as boys, and now look at us, we both have children.
Yes.
Wow.
Seeds become plants.
I know.
Boys become men.
Introduce yourself. Tell us your name. Tell us what you do, sir.
So my name is Rowland Gbedemah, and I am a venue operations manager in London. I work in the entertainment industry.
Cool. So how long have you been a father?
Oh, crikey. My oldest is going to be 18 on the 1st of December.
As we say, we'll start here.
Well, I mean, contrary to what it may sound like, there are people far younger than me who've got children far older than mine.
This is true. This is true. I mean, I guess I'm comparing yourself to me.
Okay. Yeah, but then again, our upbringing, knowing what our fathers were like,
right?
It was all career before children. So I suppose some of us had children a little bit later than some others.
I don't know if my excuse was career, but yeah, we'll come back to that. So the first one is 18 or going on 18.
Yeah, she'll be 18 in December.
Okay.
And the boy, who's the second, so the 18-year-old was soon to be 18, is a girl, Elizabeth. And my son Mason just turned 9.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. How does it feel? I mean, I remember when at the time she was my girlfriend, said we were pregnant. I was stupid excited. I was all giggly and stuff. I'm even giggling now, remembering it. How was it for you? Like, how was the news broken to you?
Yeah, she wasn't well. We went to the hospital and she got checked out and they're like, "Oh, did you know you were pregnant?" And it was like, "Oh wow, okay. What do we do here?" I was like, "Well, I'm here to support whatever decision you're willing to take." And so that's when we embarked on the first journey to become a father. And it was quite an interesting journey.
Were you married at the time?
Yes, we were.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were 3 years in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess we got married when we were 3 months into
pregnancy.
Pregnancy.
Okay, yeah. It's kind of funny that because about 2 years after I've been married and still no children, my father rang up and asked that, is everything okay? I mean, should we send you some special herbs and whatnot from Africa? Because you're holding a gun. Are you firing blanks? What's going on? But yeah.
I can still hear him say that.
Absolutely. But again, I suppose it happened when we were ready. I mean, we wanted to do it on our terms.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure. We were dating for almost 2.5 years and then we got pregnant. And then we ushered Radley into the world.
Yes.
Such an interesting experience for me. But yeah, speaking of your father, like your father and my father are buddies.
That's correct.
I don't even know if buddies is the right, more like cronies. They have many a story to tell from their younger days.
Absolutely.
And I know some of it from the outside looking in. What was it like being a son to your father? Because you're a military brat, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Army brat, yes.
Yeah.
It was interesting to say the least. It was challenging
Right.
for me as a young boy growing up. My mom left when I was very young,
Okay.
and I went through various stepmothers and so on and so forth. So, yeah, the old Cinderella syndrome. Yeah. It was tough times. It was tough times, but it is what it is. It's your life. It's an occasion you have to turn up for. So it all starts with a choice. You can either roll over and let people walk over you, or it toughens you up. It makes you a lot more resilient. And I suppose I became a lot more resilient in the face of all the adversity. Again, this is not all just dad. You get me? I mean, he was trying to be the best father he possibly could,
Given
based on
ammunition he had.
what information he had and what he was being told. And yeah, crikey, it was interesting.
You say it was a choice, but at the age that you weren't making the choice.
No,
You were going with the flow.
no, yeah, but then there were choices you had to make, in order to survive. This is talking about survival.
Okay.
Yes. So there were choices you had to make, in order to survive in such an environment. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many stories. I remember you like, I guess, stealing keys, and we're driving around the neighborhood, like. It seems like a world away, because the world is so different now.
Oh, absolutely.
So different now. Like the things we got away with, it's not flying in today's world
No,
at
No.
all.
no. Yeah, it's a wonder. So,
I miss them.
so we're still alive. Yeah.
I'm telling you. You should tell me, like, what was your father like as a father?
You know what? For people who looked in and knowing my father for who he was and what he was, they were scared, and scared for us, as in myself and my brother. They were scared, terrified. People were, would not come to the house. Friends would not come to the house. Yeah, but I suppose for us, when we had our time with dad, yeah, those were some of the coolest times ever. Yeah, because he had his boys and he was trying to do right the best way he possibly could. Yeah, take everything else, all the distractions from like stepmom and all the other things going on in the world.
Right.
Yeah, when he was with his boys, he was trying to be the best dad he possibly could. And yeah, there were some very compassionate, some very nurturing, loving moments that I can remember for, as long as I'll live. And on the flip side, there were times when it was terror.
Yeah, I remember a lot of the flip sides.
Yeah, the terror.
I remember a lot of that. I mean, so it's funny, like you grow up and then you think, oh, I'm speaking for myself, right? I think of instances where my father and I had quote unquote interactions, right? And there are several of them that I have replayed over the time. And then I thought, if I was in his stead, how would it have played out? I'm so alike. Like, I guess we are so alike, I should say. And I'm so different from him, right? And I think, how many children does your father have?
There are five of us in total from various marriages. Yeah.
So for us, there are 8.
Wow.
And counting, because
cracky.
I am sure there are some in the wild.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
There are 8 and counting.
Strong man.
Yeah, and I feel like the way I am with my daughters, right? I mean, obviously, that's not how he was with us.
Yep.
But I think that it's because we were sort of disposable. He had so many, right? And he could shine out more if he needed to, right? So I guess making the very conscious decision that I am going to have, mind you, I'll say something. I'm going to have all my children with one woman,
Yep.
right? Makes the relationship I have with them a tad different to what I experienced, right? Saying that, for all his flaws, for lack of a better word, my father gave me this advice that he's like, make sure you have your children with one woman. I'm thinking, but if you know this, how the hell, like, why weren't yours just two or like three?
It was a different time. It was a different time. Think about it. It was a different time.
True.
And I suppose, and I mean, I say this to my wife, who's not Ghanaian. She's British. And I talk about the environment in which I grew up, and not just within our household, within the community, and further afield as a country. The times in which we lived, when a man was not happy with his marriage, at any time he could say to the woman, pack your bags and go back to your mother's, and that was that.
True.
There was no talk of let's go to court and divorce and I'll take half and this,
Yeah.
that, the other. That did not exist.
That's true.
Yeah,
Especially because they had the financial upper hand as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. In society, they were kind of
yes.
like a big deal.
Now here I am, so many years later, a father to a daughter. Yeah. Would I like somebody to be saying to my daughter, pack your stuff and go to your mother's house?
Right.
Obviously not. The world has moved on. And for that reason, not for the sake of me being a father to a daughter, I mean, I've got sisters as well. So I'm happy that the world has moved forward in terms of women's rights. Yeah, I'm a champion for women. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm a girl dad. So
so be it in the workplace or be it in culture and society, yes, definitely I advocate for women. Yeah, and to make sure that women are treated the right way. Yeah, and I mean deserving of their status within a family
right.
and a community. Absolutely.
True. But it's funny. Like I think of, again, like his advice to me was like, I think that's the only thing that he's said to me that I hold in any regard. Cause
Wow.
yeah.
Was that so profound that it's literally
Well, because unfortunately, in my experience, he wasn't the kind of man to make sure that everybody's experience in terms of him parenting you was equal, right? Some got it better than others, right?
granted?
Yes, and so that was kind of like one of the things that rung in my ears. He's like, okay, maybe that's him saying that I acknowledge that because of these variables, I guess the experience that I had, because I had mine before a lot of others after me, and so I saw what theirs was like, right? So it's one of them things where it's either from mistakes that he had made in his past, he was trying to better himself, so they got the father 2.0 and father, you know what I mean? And so he's like, you know what, in hindsight, don't do this whole thing that I did. But my thing too is that he just said that was a blanket statement and that was it. There was no like because or, things you should watch out for and stuff. But then at least I take my hat off to him that that was like because I thought about it a lot. And I was like,
Right. Now, I know you're the host and you're the one asking the questions.
Go on.
But that being said, I made a statement earlier about it starts with a choice.
Yes.
Yes. You could have looked at that environment in which you were, where you kind of thought, I got dad 1.0, and your younger siblings got the newer, improved versions. You could have made a choice to go I get it. I'm going to roll with it. Or you could have gone completely off the rails and become a problem child.
True.
So that was what I meant by it starts with a choice. Yeah.
I mean, in some instances, he did see me as a problem child. In fact, society saw me as a problem child because there wasn't a lot of room for a child to voice thoughts, opinions,
Yeah, in those days there wasn't enough.
feelings,
No.
yeah. And so the only way you could actually express them was probably lashing out in
Whatever way you thought was right.
exactly. One probably was a call for attention, or it was just like, I'm tired, like this is what you get. And
But choices do have consequences.
they do.
Absolutely.
Read.
Yeah,
Every choice you make makes you.
absolutely.
They definitely do.
Absolutely.
It's one of the quotes I live by. But then it's again saying that you make choices. You know how a lot of the time, well, I saw this when I moved to England. There were a lot of stories where maybe a child was abused or he didn't have the best of upbringing, so he has become a deviant in the eyes of society, right? And then it brings me to this whole choice thing. I agree with you in that respect.
Absolutely.
Because, like, my guy, the kind of things that I went through, I'm not doing half of the things you're doing.
Absolutely.
Chill.
Yeah.
I can't agree with that.
I know we were eventually going to evolve into that part of the conversation. So that statement, it starts with a choice.
Right.
It's almost going to be a running theme through quite a lot of the answers that we're going to be, or some of the topics we're going to be exploring.
Right.
That regardless of what circumstances that you find yourself, it starts with a choice. How you choose to respond, is what would define you going forward.
True.
And that's something that I've tried to instill, into my children, and to let them know that for every choice you make, there is a consequence.
True.
Now, my father, like your dad, was very well known for quotes, and more recently, I'm getting a lot of my grandfather's quotes being passed over from my dad to myself.
Okay.
And I'm starting to pass them on to my children as well. Yeah. But yeah, for every choice you make, there is a consequence. And if you can't stand up in public, this is one of them, and beat your chest and say, yes, I did that, should you be doing it?
So it's funny, if you can't stand up in public, there are lots of things.
Or put your hand up and say, yeah,
No, I get
I did that.
Yeah, I get it. Like, there are a lot of things that growing up I saw my father do, and I was so like in awe of the man. He was such a small man, but he was so commanding, and like, not in terms of just his presence, and
They were giants.
yeah,
They are giants.
But now I grow up and I look at him and I think, it's one of them things. But yeah, speaking of your grandfather and hearing quotes from him passed down to you through your dad, like, what do you think you as a father emulate from your father's parenting of you to your children?
Wow. That's deep. There are definitely aspects or should I say certain things I'm definitely going to transfer across.
Okay.
Yeah, to my children. Yeah, things like being that military man that he was. Yes. To be full of fortitude. Yeah, you've got to be resilient. He keeps saying this world is not a joke, which is something his father used to say to him, that if you are not resilient in the face of what the world throws at you, the world will punish you. It's a very cruel, unforgiving place. Yeah, it's very rare that things get given to you for free. 9 out of 10, you have to go and put in labor in order to get that reward. Yeah, there is no freebie anywhere, and you will have to work for it. And if you're not ready or prepared to put that work in, what's the point? Yeah, your life is an occasion you have to turn up for. Absolutely.
What age were you before you realized this and turned up for your life? Because as a child, like, let's say pre-teen, for example, I don't think you were in this mind space.
No, which is 100% correct. Because my father used to say this over and over again from as far back as I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
When I was running around like a little toe rag, yeah, climbing trees, swinging off stuff, and my dad would always say, "Son, if you break something, I'm not going to take you to the hospital." And I did break things, and we did not go to the hospital. Because he was not only trying to prove a point, he was trying to explain or teach me that those actions, those choices I'd made to climb those trees and try and swing on them and hang on them upside down via my knees and so on was dangerous. But we did not listen, and said accidents took place with said injuries. Yeah?
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's the way we were brought up. It was tough. It was tough love. It was old school. It was school of hard knocks. But again, it starts with a choice. Yeah,
So,
I could become timid.
Mhm.
I could end up with mental health issues. Or
I mean,
yeah,
no one is to say
yeah.
that you don't have it.
Yeah, but
You know.
but we know people
Mhm.
who've spiraled down that route in a very bad way.
Totally.
Yeah, and they did not go through a third, a quarter of the stuff we went through growing up. Yeah, they were the ones who had all their Super NES and
Game Boy and
Game Boys and whatnot, and we didn't. And they thought they were being hard done by when their parents took the Game Boy away. Oh my God, all hell broke loose. You get me? They were having like fried eggs and sausages and stuff, and yeah, we were lucky if we even. Either way, yeah, I digress. I digress. But yeah, it took me till probably teens. My life changed dramatically with my dad when I hit teens, and I started hanging out with him a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was a man about town, bless him. And he used to move around. And I became like a little runner, a little guy who was like carrying messages here, there, and stuff. And much to my stepmother's hate. But yeah, me and my dad, it brought us a lot closer. Yeah, it brought us a lot closer. And we shared something special during that period until I left to go to the UK to go and study. And yeah, so that was when we had a lot more time for each other, a lot more moments where there was transfer of knowledge and skill as to how to navigate this world. Yeah.
I'm
Actually
glad you
took
got
place.
that, because I definitely don't feel like at any point in my life my father and I were like that. I think there was a bit more respect from him for me when I had children, not even when I got married, when I had children. But anyway, it's one of them ones. You reference your military upbringing.
Yes.
So then, what would you say your parenting style is?
Whew. Right. I don't live in Ghana. Yeah, I haven't lived in Ghana for nearly 30 years.
So you can't be a Sekelo.
I live in a society in the UK which has some very interesting rules about parenting.
Okay.
Be it what they want to teach the kids at school, what the kids have access to, be it via TV, via the internet, whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's not everything I necessarily agree with, but I understand that that is the society in which I've chosen to live.
Right.
So I need to comply. I need to conform. But there are things like the child beating. Yeah, I mean, I've never like beaten the kids. I find other ways of punishing them. Yeah, because again, it's almost like I'm living my life vicariously through them.
Right.
Yeah. So all the things I didn't necessarily have. Remember, we talked about all this superness and this, that, and the other. So all the things I didn't have, I'm trying to make sure they had or they have.
Right.
Yeah. There are times when they don't even ask for it and they're getting it. You get me? Because I kind of thought, yeah, I never had this growing up. You're going to get this. You're going to have this.
So we'll continue.
We'll cycle around.
You said two things. The first one was because you live in the UK, you have to comply.
Yes.
But do you think that if you didn't live in the UK, you wouldn't be the kind of parent you are?
I don't necessarily think so in that context. However, I suppose your environment shapes you,
Totally.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Your environment shapes you. I do, in the last 3 years, I've started revisiting Ghana and I look around and crikey, it blows me away how nearly 30 years down the road, some things have gone backwards and some things are progressing. Yeah. But it's a certain mindset, I suppose. It's a certain mindset. And I suppose culture plays a very huge role. Whereas in Africa, I'd say it's very much based on teaching these children morals. Yeah, don't steal, don't cheat, don't do this, don't do that. And they're all very strong morals, which have been taught since time immemorial across Africa. Yeah, in Europe, it's very liberal, where it's like, let the children have access to it. Why are you being this way? Let them grow up and
let them find their path.
Let them find their path. And there are sometimes when people can go so far down the path, it becomes quite a difficult task to do a U-turn to correct it. Here in Africa, if I may use this analogy, here in Africa, if a child is going wayward, you can turn them very quickly like a speedboat. In Europe, dare I say, it could probably be like the Titanic.
Right.
28 days to do a full U-turn, if you know what I mean. Plus all the obstacles and challenges you have to go through. So, yeah.
And then providing things that you didn't have because you didn't have them. I guilty as charged. I'm in the same boat as you. But do you think that is always the best? Because sometimes, like, obviously we didn't do bad without because we didn't have, right? And then I feel like they take them for granted.
100%.
You know, and they think that having is the standard.
100%.
And they don't understand that you have this and it's a privilege.
100%.
You know, and then schooling that becomes a problem.
Well, for me, it's easy to police that.
Okay.
Very easy to police. My wife, God love her, for her many sins, decided to marry me, and she's got her own ideas about how children should be raised. She's a woman, so she's very maternal, yeah, highly, highly protective of our children. And I love her to death for that. She will run through walls for our children. And for that, I'm absolutely grateful. But I sometimes find myself having to be the person to go, oi, listen to your mother. Oi,
I do.
don't get me involved.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you won't like the outcome. So I suppose I'm more of an enforcer than anything. I see my role as the provider, the facilitator, to give them access to whatever it is that they want
Mm-hmm.
or need. And then, if required, to straighten anybody going off the rails, I correct and try and keep them on the path.
On task.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been instances where I would be downstairs and I'll hear them, they're going back and forth because my elder one is 9 and she's now trying to assert herself, push boundaries and stuff. And her mom will say something to her, and I don't know exactly how it goes, but then I'll hear her mom respond or retort in a certain way. Then I'll be like the whole "oi" thing, and then she's toes the line.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's the same kind of thing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose. I mean, yours is a similar story to mine, where biological mothers were not there.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so we grew up with stepmothers, and when you find yourself sometimes feeling like a unloved relative in your own father's house,
Mm-hmm.
it sort of instills something in you to try and do better. Should you find yourself in that position as a father,
Right.
yeah, to do whatever it is to make it right for these children that you brought into the world.
I agree.
Now, I'm not saying that any man or any woman should stay in an abusive relationship. I'm not saying any man or any woman should stay in a relationship that is toxic, because 9 out of 10, it's going to cause more harm
Mm-hmm.
to these children, yeah, than to walk away.
Right.
Yeah. However, these children were not conceived through hatred. And I suppose it's our duty as fathers, yeah, to be their superheroes.
Of course.
They are protectors. You get me? They are number one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
fan, everything.
yeah, my daughter, who's just about to turn 18, yeah, I'm the first guy she ever fell in love with, and I think that is great, and I hope the guy who steps up to her is of equal or higher status, because sweet Jesus.
I just remembered when she was like, "That's your last beer."
Oh yeah, she now thinks she's the parent and I'm the child. It's ridiculous.
It was so funny the way you reacted. Just like then she's like, you're trying to be stern, and then I was just laughing my
Yeah. Bless her. She wants to be a doctor. She's of course to go to Oxford to do medicine, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
And no, she thinks she knows it all. Yeah. The day she was born, yeah, we got sent to we went to the hospital because of the contractions and stuff, and we got told, oh, it's your first child, you're not dilated, blah blah blah. Go back home to your own environment and relax. It will help the pregnancy or the birth along a lot smoother and whatnot, rather than staying in the hospital and blah blah blah. So they talked us out of staying at the hospital.
Okay.
Plus, they said there were no beds. So we went home, and boy, did it accelerate. It accelerated so bloody fast, it's unreal. And The wife said, "Nah, we've got to go back. I think baby's coming." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold it in, cross your legs, do whatever you got to do to keep it in." And she went, "Ooh, I think the head is popped out." I was like, "What do you mean the head's popped out?" Get on the bed, let's have a look.
You're at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
The head had popped out. And yeah, with just the head out, she opened her eyes, and I was the first person she looked at. And in another push, she was out and in my arms. Yeah, so yeah, she arrived before the ambulance crew all got there and all of that, and cut umbilical cord and everything. Yeah,
So she was born at home.
yeah, she was born at home on my bed.
Wow.
Not out of choice. Not out of choice.
Wow.
So yeah, I said to the wife that I'll never do it again. I'll never do that again. If they say go home,
Never do that again, as in having another child.
no, another
Birth at home.
a birth at home.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was one of the most scary things I had ever been through, but also one of the most rewarding things I had ever been through. Yeah, because as soon as I took the underwear off and I saw the head with her eyes open looking at me, I was like, crikey, what do I do here? So I picked up the phone and I dialed 999, and they asked, "Oh, which service, please?" I said, "Ambulance." And I got the usual tone. We're experiencing a high level of calls. Please stand by. Your call will be connected shortly. I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah. So I had the phone wedged between my shoulder and my ear, waiting for somebody to answer the phone on the other side. Yeah. And I'm there now trying to like clear all like fluid from whatever her nose and her mouth, make sure at least she could breathe.
Yeah, open passageways.
Absolutely. And sorry, I got my neck stuck there because I'm telling the story. And eventually, a call came as the dispatch answered the phone and said, "Right, what's the problem?" I said, "Oh, my wife's having a baby, baby's," and they went, "Oh, how far are the contractions?" I was like, "No, no, 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 the head's popped out." They went, "Ah, right, what's the address?" And I gave the first line of the address, and my missus went, "Ooh," which she was out in my hands. So managed to pick the phone up and gave postcode and all of that. And they pronounced time of birth 14 minutes past 10. Never forget it, 14 past 10 in the morning. And yeah, it says, "Baby, okay? Yes, is the wife okay? Yep, yeah, help's on the way." So yeah, rapid response guy turned up.
So you have to swaddle and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, well, do the best you can. Towels, T-shirts, whatever it is that we could. And yeah, it's like one of the best moments of my life.
I'm sure, but so see, for you, you can say, "I brought you to the world."
Absolutely. I've told her that, and I said, "If you annoy me, I'll take you out and all."
You know, people say that because they mean like I facilitated your birth. But
Yeah,
you actually, wow,
absolutely,
that's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah. So, yeah, we are very close. My
I almost
daughter.
feel like that would be the answer to my next question. But what has been the best thing about being a father for you?
Oh, there's several moments.
Do share.
There's several moments. I mean, stuff that I'm so proud of. I mean, my kids, they challenge me, but they surprise me in so many ways. Yeah, that makes me so bloody proud of them. It's not even funny. So, my daughter's always been a high achiever. Yeah, extremely intelligent. I don't know where she gets it from because I'm as daft as a bat and my missus. But yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, my missus swears she gets her intelligence from me, and I'm grateful that she is able to give me such an accolade. But yeah, daughter has been always been a very high achiever. So all the way through school, primary school, she smashed everything. She's not athletic in any way. God bless her.
Okay.
She's a bookworm.
It's all about the book.
It's all about the books, and she's the only person in a school who actually managed to pass the entrance examinations to go to one of the top 20 grammar schools in the whole of UK. Yeah, and she's smashing her way through all of that. Yeah, on the way to Oxford to become to become a doctor. That is
Gbedemah.
absolute pride. The boy on the other side, Mason is he's special. He's my little hero. Yeah, he challenges me a lot. But he's on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah, and it manifests itself in a weird way where everything has got to be done in sequence. So he needs to know what's happening now, what's happening next, and if the sequence gets broken, he loses it. But as he's gotten older, he's managed to learn how to cope with it, find coping mechanisms of how to deal with it, and the disappointment if we said we were going to be somewhere at 4:00 and it doesn't happen, or we're not going to go at all. Yeah. But on the flip side to that, the boy is a total genius when it comes to maths. Yeah, I think he was about 3 years old when he picked up a pencil and wrote some numbers in a sequence. And I looked at it and it's like, what the devil is this guy doing? Why is he writing these random numbers? And it only took about a week for me to realize that he'd started writing the first series of numbers in the Fibonacci sequence at the age of 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's always been blown away by maths. I think he sees the world through numbers.
Right.
Very much into astrology and the solar system and numbers. So whilst his classmates are there doing 2 times tables and adding in 2 digits, he's by far adding in 5 digits, 6 digits, and working at a very high level when it comes to maths. And it's his dream and his passion to be an astronaut.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. So and we're now doing quite a lot of exploration of Mars, for instance, and looking at how humans could eventually put footprints on Mars and probably colonize Mars. And the pace at which that technology is moving, I can probably see people his age being amongst the first humans to walk on the planet Mars. And I wish him all the best in that endeavor. He's also my hero for other reasons as well. He because he's on the spectrum, he's been adopted by Team GB's Paralympic team. So he does Taekwondo with Team GB.
Okay.
Yeah, and it could possibly be an Olympian in the future. But to his credit, at the age of 9, we've got so many gold medals and trophies in the house of Taekwondo. It's surreal.
The guy is just beating people. I don't know where he gets to roll.
So so that is pretty cool. And I think one of the best moments for me was one day when I came in and from work, and he looked at me and he told me he's the king of the house. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, I'm the king of the house. And I looked at him and I smiled inwardly because I said that statement could only have come from a kid who's never been punched in the face before. Yeah, I love him. And I went, are you serious? He said, yeah. He was really serious. I said, really? Are you challenging for the throne? He said, yeah. I was speechless. So I had to laugh.
How did that end?
Oh, well, it didn't even start. Yeah, I told him, grow at least another, 3 feet, gain some weight,
And come back.
and come back and let's talk. Yeah.
No, Mason is adorable.
Yeah. I mean, they're great kids, and I said they make me proud of them every day. And I mean, it's moments like that I suppose makes it worth my while being a father. Makes me proud, to be their father. And I guess maybe for you as well, I think one of the best things ever is have that person open their mouth for the first time and say dada. Yeah, exactly. Because it was like, are they gonna say mama? are they going to say dad
I don't know
first?
if it was ever a question.
Oh yeah, both.
It was, but then
Both said that, and I was
yeah,
like,
it-
get in. And my wife goes like, yeah, well, that's a lot easier to say than mama, but yeah, no, but he's a mommy's boy, yeah, which is
so he should be.
I'm not particularly loving at the moment. Yeah, he's openly said, yeah, mom's his favorite parent.
Okay.
He's a mommy's boy, but I know once he gets to that age where he starts becoming a man, yeah, she's gonna pass him over and go, right, I can't do this. You need to, and I'm not waiting for that stage to actually start having those conversations because it might have been too far down the road. So we're starting to have a lot of father-son moments.
Awesome.
And the whole transfer of knowledge is taking place. And I guess as well, I mean, my dad also is part of that process. And for me, it's a proud moment when I've got 3 generations of Gbedemah men in one room, and we're interacting with each other. It's yeah, I find it pretty hilarious because my father says to him, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yes, son, he says to me, yeah, let these guys do whatever they want. Yeah, they can have whatever they want. And it's like, that was not the same when I was growing up.
Never is.
Yeah, but now that it's the grandkids, yeah, they can do whatever they want.
So my uncle, he did this. He plays with his grandchildren as well.
Love.
And when my cousin is complaining, he's like, allow them. They are playing the fool. So like, basically, whatever you are trying to build and things is up to him, depending on what his grandchild wants, to put it in as much disarray as possible. When it comes back to you, then you fix it. For him, he's going to think his grandfather is the coolest.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know,
yeah. My kids think my dad is the coolest. My dad originally started off in medical school.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I didn't know this.
Yeah, he actually started training.
I mean, I say I didn't know this like I was his classmate.
Yeah, he's actually started training in medical school, and yeah, he quit that to join the army.
Okay.
So it's really cool to see him and my daughter talking biology and cells and the human body and various organs and functions and stuff. And it's really cool. And just to see the look on his face and the joy and the pride, yeah, that his granddaughter is going to be doing something that he originally wanted to, but didn't. Yeah, it's quite rewarding. It fills me with quite a lot of pride.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the highs and lows, well, all the highs in the world, things always come down, right?
Absolutely.
What would you say has been the most difficult aspect of fatherhood so far?
I suppose it's more to do with parenting with my wife or alongside my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
I was born and raised in Africa in a military household. And I was brought up a certain way with a certain level of strictness and discipline. And that didn't only stay within the household. There was also the family, the community. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. So with all these external influences, both internal, immediate family,
Right.
and external, shaped my being a certain way, which manifests itself in the way in which I do things. Now, my wife being British, grew up in a world totally different, to the world in which I grew.
Right.
Yeah, so I suppose some of the low times are when I have to turn around to my wife and say to her, I told you so. Yeah, based on certain decisions that she's made, or certain calls I've made and she's overruled them. And I suppose maybe from her perspective, she wants to be my children's best friends. And I suppose in its own way, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, but where I come from, or where I mean, my outlook is, they are children, we are the parents.
Right.
Whilst we didn't have a voice, and I'd like them, and I mean, I've said several times, for them to come and say anything and everything to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we will be there and support them through anything and everything. There are those times when you can see that decision, that choice, yes, that's a choice, that has been made is not the best choice. And you get overruled sometimes.
Okay.
And you just have to let it go, yeah, for the sake of peace and unity within the household. Only for a short while later to have that smirk on your face to say, I told you. Yeah,
And those are the difficult times.
those are the difficult times.
But I would imagine that they are the few times, if not more times, I hope, that when you're overruled, it doesn't always end up with egg in her face.
No, 100%. There are times when I look at it and kind of go, ooh, I dodged the bullet there. I dodged the bullet there because if I had put my foot down and said, no, this is how it's going to go, yeah, I'll be the one looking silly.
Of course.
Yeah, so, yeah. To quote my grandfather, God bless him, again, this passed down from my father, he said, every man has got pride, 100%. But my grandfather used to say, if you choose to wear your pride like a fancy hat on your head
Yeah.
with a plume of feathers in it and march around town for everybody to see, people will despise you for it. Instead, put that hat in a strong box, lock it, and stand on it. If all else, people admire you for how tall you are.
Would you say that's your favorite quote?
It's one of many. My grandfather, Rowland Gbedemah, bless him, yeah, was full of so much knowledge.
What did he do?
He did various things. He worked with a German missionary, Reverend Flutmeyer, I'm told he's called. I looked him up on the internet, and yeah, found out he was quite the Christian character in Volta region and the Anglo area where we come from. And my grandfather worked for him, and so he actually gave my grandfather the name Rowland, yeah, which is a German name, because my grandfather was Edugler, which is a name I've also inherited. And so Grandpa worked for the Reverend Flotmeyer for many years, and he was fluent in German, fluent in English, fluent in French. And when he got to a certain age, Reverend Flotmeyer said, right, you've done well. It's time for you to leave and go into the world and become a man. And my grandfather did not understand what that was all about. It's like, well, I thought it was the two of us were going to ride into the sunset together. I said, no. So he actually kicked him out. And my grandpa went straight to his mother in the village and said to his mother, that's the German reverend that kicked him out. Again, being a moral woman, she went through the usual questions. Were you rude to him? No. Were you violent towards him? No. Did you steal? No. So all the morals that we teach our children, yeah, she went through the lot of them, and it was no to all of them. Then she said, well, Edwigle, what is your problem then? Go. So he teamed up with somebody and they went traveling. And they went all the way as far as probably Congo, I'm told,
Okay.
which took months in those days. And they met some people there and they found a trade making and selling beads. And he ended up being quite wealthy, made a lot of money, and decided to make his way back home. And I'm told in those days there were no bags. So they tied their money or wrapped their money in old cement paper, put it on their heads and made their journey back. And he arrived in the Anglo area and went straight to Reverend Floatmeyer and said, yeah, Papa, I'm back. Yeah. And he puts the thing down and he said, what's that? He said, that's all the money I made. Yeah, I've brought it back to you. And he asked him to open it up and he did. And he went, oh, you have done well. I knew you would. Yeah, I knew you were strong of character and intelligent and you could make it in the world. Now, can you put it all together and tie it up? Says, that is not my money, it's yours. You made that money, it's yours. And my grandfather was distraught. Said, I mean, you sent me out into the world and I've done well and I've come back. And I said, no, your place is not with me. So he said, whilst you were away, I have acquired some land on the seafront where all these ships that were docking from Europe were bringing commodities to trade with Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have anywhere to store. So my grandfather actually built warehouses along the Keta coast, and he used to store all these merchandise,
Right.
yeah, for these European companies. And the big traders in Accra used to come and collect from there. So he became like a warehousing kind of person and he was filthy, filthy rich. But nature gives and nature takes. All of that is under the sea now. Yeah, it's all gone, yeah.
All the coastal front is all eroded, it's just gone.
Yeah.
That's such a shame.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask.
Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone. But I never got to meet him.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely gutted. Because based on what my father tells me about him, I think we would have gotten on very well. But I suppose his genes run through me and I'm carrying his name, so it's something to be at least proud of.
That's true.
Mm.
Speaking of Anloga, speaking of the Volta region and all that, how do you teach your heritage to your children, or their heritage, essentially?
Wow.
And then you remember before we started the session, I told you that there was a question that I thought of. Because of your Banku and Ademe, this is the question. This is the question for you. Because you really wanted it when we had the meal last time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
basically, what about that do your kids understand that, ooh, this is why dad loves that food?
So I suppose I try to teach that to them through food, through fashion. Yeah, the fabrics and the traditionally more the food than anything.
Okay.
I've told them a lot about our family history, which has been passed down from my granddad to my dad and to myself. The last time I visited Ghana a year ago, I spoke to one of my cousins who had our family tree dating back to, oh my God, a couple of centuries back.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent my time back in the UK putting together the family tree, which has been such a very rewarding exercise.
I'm sure.
And sitting there with my children and going through it. And the one thing that I've been slightly disappointed with in that whole process is our lack of documentation of family members. There are some people whose images I've been able to find via the internet,
Okay.
but only as a result of a funeral announcement.
Or a wanted poster.
No. I know it's the West Coast, West Africa, but it's not the Wild West. So I've been able to find photos based on funeral announcements, and I've asked around and asked around. This journey has led me to making contact with family members who I haven't seen or spoken to in 40 years.
Right.
Yeah, and some have been able to send me photos of some of my uncles and whatnot. Because bearing in mind, my grandfather Rowland was married about 5 times in his life. He had 33 children. My father was number 30 out of the 33.
I remember that.
So as of the time my father was being born, some of his older siblings had children who were in their teens. Yeah, so I've got nephews who are close to my dad's age. I'm 50 this year, and I'm already a great whatever. Yeah, because there are times I meet people. I mean, the name Gbedemah, when you meet it, you know they are family. And you're like, right, who's your dad? Nah, don't know him. Who's your granddad? Don't know him. Who's your great-grandfather? Ah, that's my cousin. And it's like, wow. And this person is in their 20s or 30s. Yeah, so it's a huge family, but it's been a joy, I suppose, trying to piece this family history together and sharing it with my children as we've been on this journey, and identifying some key characters along the way, from the royal household that we descend from and all of that. Yeah, they've totally loved it. I also told them the story of the Ewe journey from
Agokoli and all that.
Agokoli, yes, from Nochi all the way to where we ended up in Angloga as well, which, yeah, they totally love. Yeah.
Interesting. I look at Elizabeth and, she's a teenager, and I'm like, does she have a relationship with cousins over here as well?
She's starting to develop that because, like I said, this is the third time we've been back in the last 3 years.
This is the longest time you spent?
This is the longest time we've spent here. I mean, I've been gone for nearly 30 years. And so the first time we came was 2 years ago. We just did a short Christmas trip for 2 weeks. We didn't really get to see many people, but it was more an opportunity for the children to see their granddad, because obviously COVID had happened.
Right.
And yeah, the world had all been locked away. And then we came last summer, we did 4 weeks, and we got to see a lot more of the family. So they got to meet some of my cousins. They got to meet my auntie, my dad's sister, Mrs. Makofi, and so many other people. So they're now starting to plant some roots. And these kids, oh my God, they strike me for as much as they can. Yeah, I'm going to digress for a little bit and come back to this. When we were growing up and people were taking trips abroad every summer and so on and so forth, we used to think how they were lucky and everything. These kids try and get 3-4 holidays abroad a year out of me. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But they are loving Ghana, really loving Ghana.
Yeah.
So they did say they wanted to come back again this year. And so I was able to take adequate leave from work and made sure I banked everything and put it all in at once. So we're here for 6 weeks
Nice.
and we are doing not so much family now, but more of an orientation, get to know Ghana properly.
Okay.
So after our third trip now, we know there's things that work, such as you can call an Uber. Uber works here. It's great.
Really, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I know it's dire, but it's not that bad.
Uber works here, and I mean, crikey, the app works. You can get from A to B without. No.
So-
You're hold on. Yeah, you're shaking your head. Yeah.
Yes.
One of my classmates, myself and my wife, we met in architecture school in London. One of our classmates who we studied to be an architect with is now settled in Ghana as an artist.
Okay.
Lives in Achimota. We decided to stop by his home and gallery to have a look at some of his work. And I asked him to send me his street name and house number to book an Uber. He sent me a pin drop to a place and told me to look for the house with mango trees 2 doors down. And I was like, this is 2024. Are we still giving directions and saying, look for the house with the mango tree or the one with the blue gate or past the lotto
The
kiosk?
one behind the Nido billboard.
Absolutely. Come on.
I
It's
don't
2024.
know why he would do that, because his house should definitely have one of these
GPS
exactly. So
tags or whatnot. Yeah, I
he
suppose.
doesn't have an excuse.
I know. But
I mean, Ghana is not great, but it's not dire.
yeah, I suppose. I mean,
yeah.
we travel all around the world. We see how people live, and yeah, it's been quite refreshing to come back and see some aspects having taken huge leaps and bounds, moving forward in a progressive way. And there are some things I look at and I think, oh Jesus, no, please
Yes.
say it ain't so.
If we go into that, we have to change the name of the podcast.
But again, it's just trying to explain to my children as well, because I try and use every opportunity as a learning,
Teachable moment.
a teachable moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I point out the craters in the road. You might call them potholes.
Oh, they are craters.
They are
I'm not even
craters.
gonna-
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, they are craters.
Yeah, and I say, yeah, well, consider yourself lucky. Yeah, we sometimes take a walk to the Accra Mall, and when we have to cross that footbridge, and we see all kinds of disabled people sitting on the floor begging for money and so on and so forth. And I try and use that as an opportunity to teach them. Yeah, one, not only about compassion, but I try and compare them to disabled people in the Western world, where they are empowered more. And I mean, crikey, you got a Paralympic team that's actually going out and doing great things, and it's like, yeah,
Who we do?
no, in the UK.
No, we do have a Paralympic
Really?
team. Yes, but then you didn't hear the news recently. They went, they went to some games somewhere. They all got lost.
What do you mean they got lost? That's not funny. It's not funny.
I'm like,
When you say they got lost, did they abscond from camping?
yeah, man.
Okay. so it was to one of these Western countries then, and they absconded from the Olympic Park and they've disappeared.
Man, Charlie.
But then again, if they have looked at how they lived here and got an opportunity to go on an Olympic ticket as an Olympian to represent their country and knew what they were coming back to, could you possibly be too
Don't blame them.
upset with them if they decided to abscond? So I take it none of them turned up for any of the games. They
My
did.
guy. There's nothing like country pride in this one, Charlie. There's one to be proud about, unfortunately.
Oh, bless.
Coming back to topic,
Mm.
what advice would you have for new fathers and to-be fathers?
Wow. new fathers and to be fathers. Okay. I'm going to start with a quote.
Here we go.
Okay. It is said, hard times create strong men. Strong men
Creates weak times.
create good times. Good times create soft men. And soft men create hard times. And the cycle goes round. For all fathers out there, up and coming fathers, fathers to be, if you can break that chain in your lineage so that you are going from strong men to good times, to strong men to better times, to strong men to best times, to strong men to excellent times, to strong men to phenomenal times. Now that will be something to aspire to. And in order to have that sequence bouncing of strong men to strong men to strong men, comes with education. We grew up at a time where we didn't have a voice, as you alluded to earlier. Our opinion was not valued. Conversations were being had, and when you were sort of poked your head up, it was like, shut up. We are calling out, you're a child. These are grown-up matters. It's got nothing to do with you. If you had been involved in that process, you would be further down the road as a man. I look at the way children grow up in the Western world, where they are consulted. Things like their mother asking, "Oh, Timmy, what would you like for dinner?" And they go, "Oh, I'll have pasta, or I'll have this, or I'll have that." When we were growing up, dinner was two choices: dinner or no dinner. You eat what you get, or you go without.
Right.
And so on. But I mean, that's not a good example to use. But I was trying to give an analogy of how important it is to involve these young people at an earlier stage. My father and I have a great relationship now. It's surreal.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's surreal, the relationship I have with my father now. I live in the UK. Me and my dad talk minimum 3-4 times a week.
So,
Yeah, and we play the fool, we laugh, we joke. It's like a brother. It's amazing, and that's something I wish for my son. Once he transitions from being a mummy's boy, it's something I'm looking forward to sharing with him.
right.
But for all fathers to be, or up and coming fathers, yeah, do involve your children. Yeah, try not to stick with that old cultural attitude. Don't get me wrong, there are some aspects of our culture which is brilliant, which 100% should be cast in stone, cast in bronze, chiseled to perfection and not changed because
It works.
it works. But there are some things which, yeah. So if you can cut those shackles for the non-progressive aspects and be a bit more progressive, you can't go wrong.
Totally. Thank you very much. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. And probably two last things. You shared a few of them, but then I will try and get you down to share your favorite quote, since we've had a few today. What's your favorite quote, and why?
I think for me, it's the one about the pride.
Okay.
Yes, I like it for the fundamental reason that it transcends across all men. It transcends across all men. And I know I've also thrown around there, it starts with a choice, it starts with a choice. It's your choice as to how you behave that will set a good example for your offspring.
Yeah, I mean, the way your choices also not only sets a good example for your offspring, but also
It's also your duty, not only a choice. It's your duty.
that apart from that too, the way you act is how people will receive you, right? Totally, yeah.
It's the old Betaris box where it's your attitude affects my behavior, which would then affect my attitude and would affect your behavior. And we want it to be on an upward spiral, positive, rather than a downward towards aggression and negativity.
Right.
Yes. So, yeah. Sorry, I could go just talking quotes and quotes and quotes, but these are little things I live by, and I suppose it stood me in good stead in the way I interact with people in the Western world, because people kind of look at me and kind of go, "This guy's different. This guy's different." Another one that I really like, integrity. It's a word that sometimes gets brandished around, and yeah, integrity. They say always do what is right, but especially when people are not watching. Some people just wait until they've got an audience and then spotlights on them, then they want to be seen to doing the right thing. Nah, always do the right thing, especially when people are not watching. Yeah.
Sweet. So this is a random question that I ask because I like to get a sense of the person I'm speaking to.
If you don't know me right now,
I know, I know, right? It's funny you should say that. I was trying to think of how long I've known you.
Oh, geez. How old are you now?
I am 45, 46 in October.
You were, what, about 6, 7 when we first, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So like 41
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lifetime.
Wow.
It's a lifetime, bro.
Anyway, this I definitely don't know about you.
Oh.
I mean, I know half of the answer, but do you sit or stand when you're peeing?
Oh, geez. No self-respecting man would sit and pee.
Why?
Sorry?
Again, why?
That was the way I was brought up.
Okay.
A man stands to pee.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's, I mean, cracky. Where I live in the world, yes.
Confused.
Yeah, where I live in the world, when you go to a man's bathroom, if you're not at home, you go to a man's bathroom, you got porcelain urinals, or you've got the trough. Be it if you walk into a local pub or you go into a lovely eatery or establishment.
Right.
Where would you want to go into the toilet and go and sit down to pee?
Okay, forget your fine dining experiences.
Yes.
In your own home.
In my own home, and I stand.
Okay.
Always. Always. There's always an argument as to why the seat was left up. Yeah, I do get that a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I've tried to teach my son to stand and pee. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he chooses to sit. I don't know why.
So I asked this question because it came up in conversation with a friend of mine once. Right. He asked, I don't know, I don't remember how it came up. But then I had said that, oh, sometimes I sit. He's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Because he's like, how can you sit down? You're a man. And I'm like, it's a toilet.
I mean, you sit for number 2. I get that.
Yes. You forget that one, yeah. But don't you ever you wake up in the morning and you can't be bothered to aim and just sit?
No. No, well, maybe that's you. The way I was brought up, you better damn aim right.
So this now comes to what does it mean to be a man? Because it's almost like you're casting this whole, a man is supposed to be X or Y. You know, well, not, you know what I mean?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Because this is
I mean, what is a man? We live in a world where, I mean, there's gender neutral, there's this, there's that. It's such a, should I say, interesting yet challenging time
definitely
in which,
two good words to choose to describe it.
very interesting but yet very challenging time. We talk about the modern man. Yeah. There were days when the man worked, he brought the money home, and that was it. The woman looked after the household. Yeah, if the man was earning enough money and they could have house help, in house boys, house girls, driver, this, that, and the other, these people would run around and perform the labor around the house. Yeah, but we now live in a time of the modern man, where you're expected to help around the house, and if you don't, you're
not pulling your weight.
You're not pulling your weight. You get me? I work hard for a living, and I keep saying to my dear wife, bless her, when you see me sitting down, it's not because I'm daydreaming or I've got nothing doing. I'm actually thinking about where the next income is going to come from. Yeah, the next holiday you and these kids have secretly got together and come and twisted my arm and said, you want to go here, or he wants this or she wants that. I'm thinking, oh, crikey, okay. Right, in order to do this, I need to move this money from here to there. I need to backfill this, that, and that. You get me? You're thinking about other ways of how to raise revenue, other ways in how to keep them comfortable in the life that they become used to, acclimatized to.
Reason. So your point is what? You're not going to do any housework, or
No. But I'm saying, when we talk about being a man in 2024, all those perceptions we had, the people who we looked up to when we were growing up as our fathers, and we talked about, they were giants in our eyes, and still are, in my case, yeah? And look at the way they lived, the things they did.
Yep.
Crikey. Even my dad says to me now, it's like, I was crazy.
He was, though.
I was not right. And now that he's slowed down, he's got a whole new perspective on life. So it's really hard. I mean, it's a difficult question to answer, to be honest. Yeah, because I suppose each person has to make it their own, and make it the best possible experience for themselves. And relating that to first of all, being a man and also being a father, yeah, I suppose there is no manual on God's planet which teaches you how to be a father. Because the experience is totally different for everybody. You can go into it with the best of intentions, yeah. Dare I say, your child could be f***ed up. Your missus could be f***ed up. And you find yourself in a really horrible situation. And you're like, I mean, what are you to do? So I guess it's not one size fits all. Yeah, it's an experience you have to define by yourself, and hopefully it'll come out well for you. That being said, we were taught that men were meant to be strong. Men were meant to be brave. Men were meant to carry the weight of everything on their shoulders and not buckle. That, unfortunately, I don't subscribe to.
Yes, those are the beginnings of toxic masculinity, right? And this is where the origin of that question comes from.
Sure.
Because people have this whole idea that you're a man, so you have to do X. You have to fit in this mold, right? And so you going on about you're a man, and then how would you sit and pee? I'm like, calm down.
No. Come on.
When you're in there and the door is closed, nobody's seeing you.
Come on. Yeah, I see me. I'll not be able to live with myself.
Why?
I would not be able to live with myself. No, sir.
Marty.
No, sir. No. Christ. No. No.
Oh boy. Anyway, I look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, there was something I was gonna say, but yeah,
No, go on.
It would not sit right in the context of this podcast. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll start off an offshoot just for this conversation in future. But yo,
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, and if there's anything that has been of any value to my fellow fathers out there, then yeah, I suppose it's worth it. But I'd like to conclude by saying one final word. Yeah, especially when you talked about men and what a man is. Yeah. Too often, we are so bogged down trying to be what society, community, family expect of us as men, and we carry a lot on our heads, on our shoulders, in our hearts, and we don't talk about it. Men don't talk because talking about it is seen to be a sign of weakness. Yeah, it's one of the major causes of suicides in the UK. Yeah, 70 men a day. Yeah. Or is it 70 a week?
I hope it's a week.
Yeah. Even if it's a week, that is a lot of men
True.
who are troubled, yeah, and refuse to talk about it. Yeah. They say a problem shared is a problem halved. But in the same breath, men out there, if your brother comes to confide in you some of his deepest, darkest fears, worries, or secrets, please don't get the drama out and start beating it out for everybody to hear. It was said to you in confidence. You get me? If you can soothe this affliction, I'm starting to quote Freemasonry now. I do apologize.
Oh, it's funny when you started. I was actually going to ask about.
If you can soothe his afflictions and help him go away feeling better, or if you can help him to resolve some of those issues, that is great. That's the mark of a man, being able to lift another man up, not kick a man whilst he's down. And we should not be. We should not be ashamed. Yeah, when you're down. Yeah, as we say, I'm among some of my friends. I'd rather listen to you weep and cry about your problems for an hour than to listen to your eulogy for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You matter more alive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, fathers, it's not easy out there, but talk. Share experiences. It's all about becoming the better version of you.
Totally.
And as I said, there's no manual out there for being a father. So one person's experience or negative experience might be the thing that could be the highlights.
Catalyst to change someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbedemah.
It's an absolute pleasure, Mr. Kwaku.
Thanks for joining us. See you on the next episode of Dad's Day.